Hello, everyone, and welcome to the finals of the National University Esports League Women's League of Legends Championship. I'm Viprud, I'm joined by Carmeline, and we're going to be taking you through all of the action in this best-of-3 final between Derby's Pajama Guardians and Team Solo Lose Worlds.
Hello.
Just hello, good. I was expecting. Yeah. How's it going, Carmeline? We were here last week. There's been a couple of games that have happened since then because the rest of the losers bracket was played off stream, so we can have this best-of-3 final on stream. But are you excited for this matchup?
I mean, I didn't want to say it straight away, but now that you ask, I'm so very excited. I'm over the roof excited. Oh my god, I've been waiting for this moment for the entire season, and now we're here, so I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited, so happy to be here with you.
It's going to be a lot of fun, and just to let people know what happened, so obviously last week we saw Derby's Pajama Guardians find their way into the final with a win against Girlfriends. We then moved into the lower bracket, off stream, of course, I believe that was yesterday, where Muses took on Team Solo Lose Worlds, and Muses is a team that we were really hyped about last week, played exceptionally well on stream in both games, but the stream ability did not carry over, and Team Solo Lose Worlds beat them and then beat Girlfriends in the losers bracket final to find their way into this best-of-3 final. And for a team that we haven't seen that often on stream in Team Solo Lose Worlds, to come out into the final, and we were doing some research today, they have a very, very strong lineup across the board of players, and Derby's Pajama Guardians have looked dominant since week one, or since the end of week one, and Team Solo Lose Worlds have already lost to Derby's Pajama Guardians. They were the team that sent Team Solo Lose Worlds. I'm trying to think of the TSLW. Sent them to the lower bracket in a 1-0 back in the semi-finals. So it's a kind of rematch. Derby's Pajama Guardians will be feeling confident, but Team Solo Lose Worlds have played a lot of very good teams to get to this final.
Yeah, and it also should be noted that Derby didn't beat them by a big difference. The gap was quite small between these two teams. It was more about the control objectives. So maybe we see a win from Team Solo Lose Worlds. I don't know.
It's going to be fascinating to see. And of course, we know that matchups can be flipped. We are in Champ Select. We should let everyone know, with Derby on the blue side and Team Solo Lose Worlds over on the red. Derby, of course, all from the University of Derby. So this narrative of which is better, coming in and having a team from all the same university or a team that is kind of scattered around the country, we could see the answer to that one today, because we've got one team from each, but we know that Derby know that you can lose a game and then win a game against teams that you played against, because of course they lost to Girlfriends in week one, then beat them in that winners bracket final. So they might be more cautious than most to say, look, we've already beaten this team, but we need to take them very, very seriously because they're in the final for a reason.
Yeah, for example, look at Malphite ban from Derby. That clearly shows that they've learned their mistakes from the last match against Team Solo Lose Worlds. They played Malphite versus Ornn, and it didn't benefit them at all. So they're like, okay, so never mind, we don't want to face this Malphite again. We need to go through this again this week. And for the rest of the bans, I think they've been quite logical. Bay Island's Galio is quite good too, so it makes sense that she's been taken off the Rift. And now let's see what they try and pick. Ornn is going to be for Derby this time. It makes sense for me.
Yeah, on first pick, pretty strong champion, new in the meta with the, well, not new in the meta, but with the new meta, is looking very, very strong. Jhin and Orianna pickups, but I want to just quickly cast your eye up to the Hecarim ban. We've seen Catgirl Trez be absolutely dominant and terrifying on that champion, so had to make sure it was off the table, but we're seeing a lot of very, very strong picks coming through, and a lot of strong picks still on the table.
Yeah, and also look at this. The Catgirl Trez, she played Hecarim. Now it's banned by default. Also banned Kha'Zix, which is one of her main champions here. And from Derby, they are banning Lilia. It was played too on the last game between these two teams. So they're clearly taking notes on me, like, hey, we don't want to make the same mistakes again, and they're learning from it.
And I think it speaks to this tournament and the teams in this tournament that we're playing in preseason. So people's champion pools will be smaller because it takes a lot of time to relearn how to build and play a champion when all of the items are different. There are very, very few champions where you can build exactly the same build that you would last season and for it to have the same effect or be the most optimal. So with players having smaller champ pools, it's much, much easier to say, well, we played against them last time. They played this champion really well. Let's just ban it away, because they're less likely to have that same quality on another champion. And this is quite an exciting pickup. We're going to see Kindred being locked in on the side of Team Solo Lose Worlds.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've seen Kindred in quite a while. What we've seen recently is Oriana, but actually I think we've seen her more on Darby's side, and I know I want to see her how she's played by this mid laner here at Team Lose Worlds. I think it's a champion that allows you to do loads of playmaking, so let's see how it works. And also, Miss Fortune has been banned, another ban that makes loads of sense for this team, because, you know, Elizabeth is a great Miss Fortune player, so, I mean, don't leave it to her, just let her pick anything.
Dr. Window also terrorizing the Rift for quite some while since the new items coming through. Definitely getting that one off the table, and a decent pickup into Ornn as well. So don't want to be giving that one a Moo, another champion where if you've been away for a little while, if you come back and you're like, what are these bans? A Moo's 6% win rate because Riot won't let us have nice things apparently. Yeah. But there's always the opportunity of Syndra going into that bot lane, so banning out just the marksman at this stage would be a little bit of folly, but with the Amuma ban as well, that isn't the case. And Morgana will be the final champion taken off the table. So now we're going to have to see what do Team Solo want to take in their presumably top lane and support role, as long as they're not going to be doing anything too funky with their champions.
I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we've got Zion on the Rift here. Okay, assuming Zion goes support, what I'm picturing here for top laner for Team Solo's Worlds is perhaps, I think they've got damage, they've got tanks, so frontliners, perhaps a little bit more AP, what could be good against Ornn. We'll see what they have in mind. And it's gonna be Kai'Sa for Elizabeth, a pick that she's played really well last week, and she's gonna do it again. Honestly, I will be scared with our Team Solo's Worlds, because again, Kai'Sa is very strong in the hands of this champion of this player. I mean,
I need to be careful with Kai'Sa, because every time, I think the last 4 or 5 times I've seen a Kai'Sa, I've been talking to the color caster and I've said, I don't really like this pick. I don't really like the champion right now. And every time I've said that, the Kai'Sa has popped off and carried the game. So I'm not going to make comments on Kai'Sa until we get into the game, because we know that Elizabeth can play it exceptionally well, and alongside that Leona, there's so much engage and so much opportunity to lock down targets and to burst through them. And it looks like Team Solo's Worlds decided to opt for the Sard in the top lane, as Alistar is going to be the final pick.
And it makes loads of sense, again, because this is a very good champion for Charlotte. She's played before, I've seen her play it quite a bit these past 3 days, and I think it can work really well with Yin, especially against this bot lane made by Kai'Sa and Leona, which honestly it's what we'll put the spotlight on. The bot laners are quite strong. It seems like they've been targeting each other with the bans as well as the junglers, so let's see how they try and play against each other in a match that we've seen before. So maybe they are going to try something different to counter the other team. I don't know. We'll see it in the Rift.
Well, there's a few champions here that are very, very interesting to just run our eye over for this patch. And a couple of champions that we haven't seen too much in this league, but we know are very, very strong. A lot of jungle mains at the moment are laughing about the state of Kayn in the meta, that he just does not die with a couple of these new items and can be really, really powerful. And Kangol Trez has been a standout jungler in this entire tournament, I would say, because she can run over games, she can be very, very powerful. And giving Kayn into her hands, which not only allows for her to do this 1v2 thing that she occasionally is forced to in the jungle, but allowing for these really strange gank paths into different lanes over walls and from places which aren't going to be warded up, could allow her to get an early lead. And if Kangol Trez gets an early lead, we know that teams struggle to come back from that.
Exactly, we've seen her again and again, even when the team was behind, even when the team lost against Godfrey's that first week. Kangol Trez was still like the spotlight there. She was like the silver lining for Darby. And as you said, if she gets the lead, honestly, that's a win condition for this team, or one of them. And it could definitely mean a victory for this team. And perhaps the entire finals, you know, like Kangol Trez, I think she's an essential player for this team. So, well, like every single player is essential, right? But Kangol Trez is kind of like the carry, I'd say. And I don't know, I think we will see another very good game from her, especially with Kayn.
Well, you've got to hope so. And on the other side of the Rift, Kindred as well. So the jungle has to be quite an active role in this game, because Kayn needs to be, or wants to be, fighting pretty early, because you want to be able to get that upgrade. You want to go for Rast or for Shadow Kayn, whichever one you decide to go for. I believe Rast is the stronger of the two at the moment, which does allow for A lot of pressure being put top, you'd assume, with Sarn, but also bot lane, because you can be attacking Alistar if you want to be stacking up those melee stacks. But Kindred as well wants to be able to contest crabs, wants to be able to engage in the enemy jungle to pick up marks. So I'm expecting for these junglers, as we've seen quite often in games with Cat God Trez in them, to be pretty pivotal in the momentum of the early game. And we talked before broadcast about how we think that in this finals, in this best of 3 series, control over objectives, the dragons and the early Rift Heralds, could be really, really crucial in which team comes out of this one as winner, because we know that that's the difference that was between these two teams last time.
I think this was a mistake by Team Lose Wolves. They allowed for Derby to take too many objectives, and in the end, it was what decided the match. Actually, it ended with a Baron. They were at 48-minute mark in the game, so it was really even, and it was real long for a game this kind. But in the end, it was all defined by the number of objectives they had managed to get throughout this game. Again, at 47 minutes and getting a Baron, that was
that will certainly end things. But we'll have to see if this game goes 48 minutes in the first of this best of 3 finals. We're going to jump to a very short break. When we come back, we'll be on the Rift.
Reindeer everywhere.
Welcome back, everyone, to the National University Esports League Women League of Legends Championship Final, brought to you by Amazon University Esports Twitch student and Levi's. And we got to quickly tell you about Levi's 24/7. You know me, you know my ad reads, you know I love me some Levi's. And if you want to be able to get discounts on every time you purchase anything from the Levi's store, not just jeans, but absolutely anything that they sell, as well as getting your hands on the newest fashion just before Christmas, make sure to head on over to the panel down below where you'll be able to sign up and get that and so much more. I say so much more. I'm not the world's expert in Amazon 24/7. Not Amazon, Levi's 24/7. But I hear it's great. And from what they've got, we know Levi's is great. We know loyalty programs are great. So between the two of them, Levi's have it sorted. But myself, Viper, and Carmeline, I'm going to be taking you through the first game of this final. And two very, very interesting compositions. We talked about them in Champion Select. But Carmen, where do you want to see action kicking off first?
Oh, I mean, you said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I know, I'm so excited. Sorry. I want to see action in the jungle. You said Cardigan tries and that Kane have loads of playmaking potential, and also Kindred kind of wants to get the lead there. She doesn't want to fall behind. So let's see if they try to contest each other in these early minutes of the game.
With both junglers starting on the same side of the map as well, it does
Yeah.
mean that they could be meeting at first scuttle in 3 minutes' time, and if
no
they
invades.
no invades just yet, but you know, sometimes it can happen early. I don't know if these two champions want to be scrapping until level 3, until they find where the first mark's going to be, but a certain opportunity with a little bit of assistance, and priority will be crucial in these early stages because you want to be the first one to rotate if your junglers are going to be going at each other. But we'll have to see where this priority materializes in the first 4 or 5 waves. As right now, there's no clear winner in any of them.
I mean, for sure, it's just 2 minutes in. We don't really know who's gonna win this game. I mean, Gertrude with Cyan going in for the trade. Like, wow, you can allow to do that with Cyan versus Ornn. This champion is kind of standard. But, I mean, the other lane that I really want to look at is the bot lane because, I mean, these players are so good. And we've seen Elizabeth as Kaiser before. It can be such a show to watch. And on the other hand, we've got Hel. I think she's a main, I'm confirming, she's a main bot laner. So she's one of the players who is the most comfortable in her role in this match. So let's see where this takes her during this game. So far, not so many things to talk about in terms of CS. Like, it's quite even in general. Wow.
Kago Trez looking to stand before 40 early in this game. Will be going on to Orianna, forcing the flash. Won't be able to grab the kill, but getting rid of that and now having priority over the top lane Scuttle Crab is going to be really, really great because it will deny the mark, and Murelion flip the coin that it will be bot lane, will be able to get the crab, but won't be able to get the mark off it, and that's going to suck early game.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Orianna, yeah, she burned her flash there, but I mean, it was worth it just for the Scarlet Crab, but on the other hand, she hasn't retreated that much. She's still just like on her lane. It didn't force her to go on the tower straight away. She can just still play around. Let's see if Darby tries to take this advantage away because a play call will be coming, and in fact, it's going to be there.
Yeah, Valenquez needs to be really, really careful. Baelen's actually going to be taken down for first blood. The Orianna will fall as well, so junglers both getting one apiece, and Murelion needs to be a little careful with those minions in the way, but will be able to dance away. So first blood going over to Team Solo's Worlds, but Kane will be able to respond immediately.
Yeah, kill for a kill. I mean, it does make sense. These both mid laners were kind of low on health, and all that quite even 24 versus 23 minions in lane. Let's see who gets faster to their minions. And on the other hand, look at Murelion with Kindred there. She's still mid lane, helping her mid laner to push this lane. Let's see what she goes next. Probably top lane to help Cyan, but I mean, this all depends on the game strategy that they've got planned. So far, so good.
So far, so good. I mean, both of the teams, both junglers, wanted to be fighting early, did manage to pick up 1 kill each. So it's almost fair. The first blood gold will make things a little bit uneven, but both mid lanes also dying should mean no massive advantage. They're both opting to walk back to lane, so teleport's still available from both of them. Teleport's still available from both top laners, which could be relevant if we do get into a scuffle around the Mountain Drake, which is the first one we've got on the map. And we talked about objectives being the difference maker. They're often the difference maker in League of Legends. In this tournament, we maybe haven't seen it as much, as lane difference and getting one up on your lane opponent has proven to be more crucial. But with these two teams, I feel like the jungle will take a different level of precedent, and having teleports available to turn a 2v2 into a 4v2 could be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And also, let's look at I want to look at the bot lane. We're both in the mid lane right now, and I think this is a really good matchup here. Ori is getting pushed into her lane a little bit, even though she got some help from Kindred before. And here in the top lane, things are just like everyday trade, you know, like some trades, nothing very important, not a kill on map yet, just for the mid laners. And let's see what they try to contest first, because the dragon might not be the first objective they go for.
Oh, there's a lot on the rift. Well, Rengar's not in the game, so that we'll see one just yet. But Kagotrez hacking around, isn't able to get the fight off, but does have support to make sure that nothing untoward occurs in that side of the jungle. But things started pretty slowly. We thought the junglers might be a little bit more active fighting, but just because they haven't been next to each other. But actually in the bot lane, we might see a bit of a fight kicking off. Charlotte running rampant. We'll be able to get a stun down, but it's only onto Leona. Now Charlotte needs to be careful, caught up with the Zenith Blade. Exhaust comes down, but it's not going to be enough to save her life. And now Hell is going to have to jump away. Eliodora very, very low, but Kai'Sa absolutely not. And in the top side, Lioness does need to be careful. Morellion's going to come up as well. The flash is burnt, but it won't be enough to save the life, as Kindred also going to pick up a kill.
See, this is what I meant when I was talking about even. I mean, there is a 600 goal difference between these two teams, but what we're seeing so far in terms of gameplay is quite similar. I think they know what the weak points for the other team are, and they're exploiting them for sure. But now, the thing is, here, what I want to talk about, we're seeing the top lane right now, we're seeing Gertrude with Sion. She's been quite aggressive in comparison to Lioness Own so far, and she's gonna take a few, things from tower, but also, will she manage to make a difference later in the game? Because it's something I really want to see. The Science can be really dangerous.
Syndra caught up in the ultimate, but Kagotrez is there immediately. Teleport coming through. This is one of the ones that we said could be important. Morellion going to dance away. Does have the ultimate available and will pop it under tower. Ornn gets the knock up and gets some damage, but they're not going to be able to take down Orianna just yet. But we'll look for the dive. We'll grab the kill for Kayn and we'll be able to back away. Excellently well played dive from Derby as they pick up their third kill.
That you get an ulti party, and also look already at Kagotrez. She's fulfilling the win conditions we set for her before. 2 kills so far, 54 minions, and I mean, this is getting quite dangerous. Full team still lose walls if they just let her run rampant, and I think this is gonna be very, and even if it keeps going this way for her, for this jungler.
And I mean, Kagotrez doing exceptionally well, but we have to look at Morellion as well. Also has 2 kills, also farming exceptionally well, and is a champion that's going to get very, very scary. She can keep picking up marks, keep picking up farm, and while the dragon goes down immediately to Derby, Morellion's already at Rift Herald, going to be trying to pick up an objective for her team as well.
Let's see if she makes it, because last match between these two teams, again talking about objectives, this was one of the defining points for victory or for Derby over teams to lose walls. So I think if the Herald goes to this other team, perhaps it could be pretty useful. Now the question is, will they use it? Top lane seems like a not so available choice so far. I don't know. I think that probably will go for the mid lane, which is we've seen most action so far in this game.
Yeah, all the action has really epicentered on this mid side when the junglers have been involved as well, and that's at a minimum, right? We've seen the mid lane, the top lanes come down, and yes, we have seen a couple of kills in bot and a kill in top as well. But really, it's been about the mid jungle synergy, which something we're seeing more and more in this patch. That this kind of how these two players collaborate and how these two champions collaborate is proving to be massively important. And right now, it's so close between these two, and it's very, very hard to call which duo is playing it better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also a matter of so far in this tournament, at some point you gotta get more even levels of skill, and
Kagotrez looking for something top lane. Gertrude the Pony is very tanky, but we'll be able to dodge out. Actually going to be able to get away from this one with the choo-choo train. Rolling on down mid and getting away. Dodging the Ornn ultimate was crucial there. But we're going to move to the bot lane fight. Charlotte going to look to get a stun down. Morellion is there, but does get stunned up and has to chase onto Eliodora, who once again has been exhausted, is taking damage, is taken down, but not going to be able to pick up anything further as Elizabetta already to safety.
This was quite interesting team fight where we saw the potential for both team compositions, and now you're gonna see the Rift Herald just going to this bot lane tower. Let's see if it manages to do some damage, because last week I think I remember one Herald dying twice before hitting the tower, so I mean that was kind of sad. Let's see what they try to do with it. And on the other hand, now how will Derby contest this? Because okay, you got this Cuttlecraft, you are ready for the next dragon when it spawns, but you're gonna lose your tower, so I think the disadvantage is getting louder and louder for them.
Well,
Ooh,
but if the fight
team
goes
fight?
well, they could be looking to
Yeah.
start fighting this one back. Catgirl Trez is head-butted away as the teleport comes down. Bay Island there as well. Gets the stun up onto Oriana. Charlotte already gone low on the Alistair. And here comes Elizabeth. Will be able to pick up the kill onto Alistair as they've already picked up 2. Hell needs to be careful now. Next target on the menu as Morellion dances away. Hell will be taken down. It's going to be Elizabeth once again picking up a kill. And an excellent response from Derby. They might lose the tower, but they absolutely clean up the fight.
Yeah, this is what I was expecting to see from them. Actually, if you allow the enemy team to take one of your towers, you need to be able to answer to that. And they've definitely done this in this team fight. Look at Catgirl Trez again being so present here that. I mean, she's just everywhere in the map applying pressure, and on the other hand, Elizabeth with that Kaiser, this champion and this player go hand in hand, and it's shown right here. You cannot just, I mean, when you get both players, Catgirl Trez and Elizabeth, in the same team fight, you gotta be very aware that that might be a team fight that you've lost, and that's what happened for Team Solar Sports.
Still have the gold lead though. About a 1,000 gold lead at 12 minutes is nothing massively worrying for Derby, but Team Solo still have that one and have taken that bot lane tower, which means fighting over dragons should be, you'd think, a little bit safer and easier for them to do so. But if team fights anything like the one we just saw, then Derby are going to have no problems at all. Taking stock just over where champions are going, of course, we're pretty early in. No mythic items picked up just yet, but you can see from components what people are going for. Actually, one has been picked up. Syndra has got the Luden's Tempest, no longer Echo, for whatever reason, but first one to reach that spike, and that's going to be doing an awful lot of damage in the mid lane.
Yeah, and also talking about items, another very essential champion here. Kindred already has Triforce.
True. Good spot.
Anyways, this jungler, Morellion, is doing really well in this game. We just talked about 3 kills so far, and now with this item, it's just going to allow her to do a lot more damage, attack more quickly, and also it gives her life. So, I mean,
Ooh, gonna be
what
jumping in
else?
onto Leona, gets stunned up, so she might not be able to grab the kill, but will be able to get one for Hell as Eliodora is taken out. Charlotte knocked away. Teleport coming through though, and it looks like Team Solo want to push on and try and siege up this tower, but there are so many members of Derby here. Teleport a little bit wasted, but they're going to try and turn it into a dragon instead as they start rotating and starting it. But it doesn't look like Derby want to give this one up without a fight. They're moving down as well en masse, but the dragon's already gone. Kindred picks up that one. The Cloud Drake falls. We're going to see what rift we get served up to date. It's going to be the Ocean taking over the first match of this finals.
Yeah, and also something that I want to point out is like, isn't Leona the best pick for this camp? I mean, I know technically against Alistar it should work really well, but we are seeing that it's not doing as well as, like, Eliodora, sorry, is a very good player for support. And now, we're seeing she's not shining at her brightest.
Syndra almost goes down instantly. Nice Lioness ultimate to try and disengage. We're going to be caught up in the stun. Eliodora puts up the shield, but Ornn actually manages to stumble away. The curtain is called. Will it be enough? 1 shot, 2 shot. Hell has to step away from the tower. And somehow everyone gets out of that one. But that does open the door for a siege because a couple of members have to back. Can Team Solo grab themselves their first objective here?
I mean, they definitely can, but will they? Because it's what they are most interested in right now. Do they want to go for the tower first and then go for Dragon or the Herald again? Or are they going to try and, push and go for these objectives first? We'll see, but so far, I think, from Darby's point of view, they want to block Team Solar Sports from getting all of these objectives. As we talked about before, this is one of the defining points for both these teams. And honestly, at this point, maybe they have to sacrifice 1 or 2 towers in order to, block, as I said, Team Solar Sports from getting the Herald, perhaps, and get it for themselves.
And of course, Team Solo have already got that bot lane tower and a dragon to their name, but breaking down that first middle tower is very, very crucial for controlling the entire map. We're seeing the second Rift Herald being started up. Team Solo are in the neighborhood and should be aware and looking to contest. Should at least be a little bit careful, and actually, with the ward down there, they know exactly what's going on, but have decided against contesting this time around. Going to be giving up the second Rift Herald to their opponents in the form of Derby. And Catgirl Trez is going to be able to sneak out with that objective.
Look at that Kaiser, it's getting so beautiful. So anyways, talking about objectives here, getting a little more even here. It's true, perhaps Team Solo's Wars still has that first tower, but as I said, the mid lane tower is one of the most important. It will define the later game, and so far no team has gotten it. So I think if one team has a chance to get it, what is this?
Charlotte just trying to play bodyguard, keeping Hell alive, and Lioness looking to move forward. Eleodora gets the center blade down, gets the stun down, and Charlotte could be toast. She's going to be able to stun away, gets a nice knock-up and a headbutt. Catgirl in a bad spot, but going to be able to jump into Charlotte and jump out for the kill. Gets the double under tower, will she be able to escape? Gets the knock-up, still tagging Tara, who's still alive as she picks up another double kill for her. Syndra will take him down eventually, but Syndra might be able to float out this one with the stun coming in to silence Ghost, but Catgirl getting kills and then just staying alive for so long picks up a very nice lead by the Derby.
Okay, I take back what I said about Eleodora. Her Leona is not just good, it works really well. It's just 0 to 8 right now, so assisting her team whenever she can. And also, I mean, between the jungler, the mid laner, and the bot laner, what a team comp they are playing right now. The advantage has gone to them definitely, and they're all getting fed. It does not matter if okay, Catgirl Tres is getting just fed, and if you kill her, the team fight is over. No, because you've got several players with the advantage already, so, and with mythic items too. So let's see what that takes them, but it looks very favorable to Derby's team so far.
And something that should be noted for Team Solo is a lot of their gold and a lot of their kills is on the Kindred right now. So if that champion is dead or not there, which is what we saw from that last fight. All 4 members from Team Solo that weren't Murelion were in that top lane fight, and they all died. So and I think that's a very, very important point you picked up on, because Murelion needs to be there right now for things to go particularly well for Team Solo. But for Derby, they've got Catgirl Tres playing so well. They've got Bayon with quite a few kills. They've got Elizabetta playing well. So they've got many more options than their opposition, and Catgirl Tres trying to get another kill in the pocket. Going to be able to get a knock-up, of course, Rast able to do so, and Gertrude should be able to just walk out of this one, but lots of health being burnt away, and needs to be very, very worried under that tower, because if she's dove, it could be a bad time.
Yeah, I'm actually liking this strategy of walling her on the tower, just preventing her from pushing. In this case, Gertrude is a really aggressive and a strong player, and by doing this, you're just forcing her to retreat, go on the tower, and not be that so aggressive, so having less impact in the game. Now we're seeing here how the Herald is going to be thrown in there, but I don't know if he will actually get to the tower. I don't think so. It will do any damage to it. No, yeah, you see. It will die before it reaches the objective. Nope.
Gertrude not able to get the teleport stop, which means that Lioness is moving into the dragon. But Sam also has teleport available, so can also look to join the fight. Catgirl Tres has started up the Ocean Drake. First one of its kind on the wrist, but not the last, we'll see, considering that it's all that will spawn up until Elder. And this one should be pretty easy for Derby to secure. And once again, they're a tiny amount of gold behind, but have been dominating in macro senses and in fighting senses for quite some time now.
Yep, and also look at them dominating from the blue side. Usually we see them on the other side, the red side, but this time around we feel like, okay, we want this to play here, and they are doing it really well, which is just goes on to show how versatile they are and how good they are, because they're able to play from both sides, which is often overlooked, but in this case, I think it should be noted.
Absolutely, and Bayon could have been caught out. Catgirl Tres diving forward to take the first shot of that curtain call and to help Syndra escape out the back. And now, once again, Team Solo's World's putting a lot of emphasis on wanting to siege down this tower, but they're so incapable of doing it right now. Murelion will dive in and grab the chickens. So it was maybe a front in order to pick up that stack and that mark for herself, but it seems to be that Team Solo Loose Worlds really just want to take down this mid lane tower, and they're having 0 success so far.
Yeah, and also Derby doesn't divide, which is one of their advantages here, because that way you are avoiding Team Solo's wards from just picking Catgirl Tres and getting the kill on her and leaving the team with just 4 play instead of 5. For example, something that actually I think Team Solo's Wolves is doing, sometimes they'll leave Gertrude with Sign alone top lane, and that is a very dangerous move here, because you're distracting the entire team in order to get a few more objectives down the map. So let's see if they try and realize this and perhaps contest it too.
Kengotres just stealing away the red buff from Murelion. Gotta be a sad time for the Kindred just to see the mark on the wall and then the smite coming down from your opposing jungler. But all of these players are hanging around mid lane. Only one not here right now is Murelion, and if that is noted by Derby, they could look to pull the trigger, but Kindred already back from her excursion into her own jungle, picking up the wolves as well. So it's going to be a 5v5 that they decide to fight right now, and it looks like these two teams, they both want the fight because they're both mid, but neither team really ready to start the engage just yet.
Yeah, it's kind of part of like, psychological pressure in that. You're like, okay, I'm here with my friends, and you're here with your friends too, so I'm gonna just let you know this fact, but not act upon it just yet. But be aware of this. Like, don't just let your guard down, because at any point in time we can start a team fight and you might not be there to see it. So just, group, don't separate, don't be divided among the rift. I mean, we are seeing Kaiser right now in the bot lane, a split push in there, trying to push the wave, which could be also very useful, to get that bot lane tower. No, she's gonna back right there. She's push lane is enough at the moment.
Yeah, not really having vision of the enemy team means that Kaiser not feeling the most confident to push up too far past that burnt down tower in the bot side. And 22 minutes on the clock. Things are very, very even on the scoreboard once again. This time around, Derby have grabbed themselves a minuscule lead, but that is a swing from the 1k gold lead we saw about 10 minutes ago for Team Solo. So nothing to be underrated for the Derby side. They have been winning the majority of fights we've seen in recent times, have got themselves an extra dragon on top, but now Baron is on the map. We're going to be seeing third Drake coming down in the not too distant future as well, or third Drake, if Derby manage to pick them up, that'll be in just over a minute's time. And we talked about objectives being crucial. We're going to keep banging on about it because these teams, without an objective there to fight over realistically, because Baron at 23 minutes is brave, these two teams are kind of stalled out in the mid lane.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the case for both of them. We're not going to see another team fight in a while. They're just, they've gone back to lanes, just kind of split pushing. They've seen how it works. Why do I talk? I know, because we're seeing this right now.
I mean, sending Orianna to a side lane is always going to be a bit dangerous just because, yes, she's got the wave clear, but she doesn't have all that much escape. It's the same with a lot of mages when you're looking to split push them. Syndra used to be the criminal one last season, where you'd see Syndra's going to side lanes and just getting ganked and killed constantly. So the ability for the Orianna to escape with Flash is fine, but now the Flash is gone. So Orianna needs to be super careful. And with Dragon coming up in 25 seconds, neither of these teams can really afford to lose a member if they want to contest it.
Yeah, especially, for teams to lose wards, Murelion has to be there in the team fight for sure if they don't want... Ooh,
nice dodge from Catgirl. Trez over the wall to avoid the ultimate. Now the fight is going to kick off. The curtain call has been used, and that's a nice two-man ultimate coming through from Orianna. Eliodora needs to be careful as she goes low, but she'll be able to walk away. Catgirl Trez might not be so lucky, but manages to pick up the first kill of the fight and is now looking for help. Looking for the knock-up. Alistair so low, and Charlotte will fall, but not before the Kane is taken off the table. The rest point will heal up the remaining members of Team Solo as San just looking to keep the squishies behind her alive. This time around, it is 2 for 1 going inside of Derby, but with their jungler gone, it'll be difficult to take the objective.
I was thinking that Ornn's ulti was a little late, but it was actually...
nice Xenoblade coming through will mean that both junglers go down in the extended fight. Kaiser picking up the shutdown onto Murelion, and now Derby will feel much more confident about going for the objective.
Yeah, for sure. As I was saying, that Ornn ulti seemed a little late, but it wasn't at all. It was right on point, and now without going to take the dragon again, an objective-based match, and it's going in Derby's favor. Also, Catgirl fell there in the midst of the team fight, but also there's something we talked about before. They have Bay Island and Elizabeth to carry if she's in a round, and they did something that Team Solo's wards couldn't do, because apart from Murelion, who would you rely on for the damage? Obviously Helvetian, but she isn't doing so great so far. And Sion, it's true, she's tanking quite a lot, she's been the front lane there, but is it enough to win the team fight? From what we've seen, no is the answer.
Well, it's been difficult for Hell and for Valanqueurs to an extent, because Orianna and Jhin not the most mobile of carry champions. And when you've got so much CC coming through from Leodora and Lioness, who are being very consistent with hitting their important CC, it's very easy for Kayn to then jump onto you. And when you've got a Syndra and Kai'Sa also threatening, and with Kai'Sa as well, threatening to jump on top of you, it's very, very difficult for immobile carries to do the work. And this is maybe why we're seeing Mirelion doing the best of these carries, because Kindred can dance around, can dodge out the CC, and can dodge out these assassins jumping onto the back line. But we saw it in that last fight. CatGirl Trez dived into 4 members of the opposing team, and I was like, oh, Kane's gonna die. It's cool. Kayn got a kill and got another member exceptionally low to basically one-shot by another member before falling. So it's worrying times for Team Solo. They've still got decent tools that scale into the late game, and they still have a nice front to back, but they need to be starting to play these team fights a little bit smarter if they want to be able to beat Derby from this position.
Yeah, definitely. And also, talking about Kayn being able to sustain all the damage, let's remember she's got Gore Drinker, which allows her to get some life regen, which is always going to be good in this kind of team fights. And, wow, another one's coming.
Yeah, another one coming through. Kayn jumps inside of San to get some healing and some damage down. And Gertrude will be the first victim of the fight. Survives actually quite a long time and will be able to catch back and get the return onto Leona. Charlotte goes low, gets taken down for the double kill for Elizabeth. Sion will be taken out of passive in the middle of the fight as well. Only managed to pick up the tags though. Carry's still standing, but will the carries be enough to contest as Derby move towards the Baron?
I don't think so, but the problem that I've seen here from Derby is like targeting the tanks first. I mean, I get the frontliners, but they've just taken Gertrude and Alice and Charlotte with Alice out first. Perhaps she should have gone for other objectives like Murelian, which again is the carry so far for this team. And now the Baron is gonna go to Davi unless they manage to steal it, which is also a possibility with Kindred.
Definitely gonna look for the Smite steal, but gets taken below half health, jumps into the pit, gets the Lamb's Dress up, which will keep Baron alive. Kindred looking for it, which she gets, but she steals it away as Valanquez and Hell are looking to run for the hills. San teleports in, sees the Baron on herself, and is like, do you know what? I'm out. That is an amazing steal from Team Solo as well. They pick up Baron on 4 members, and it only costs them their Kindred.
Yeah, but then again, you lose the buff on Murelian, who is the main carry here. And I mean, if you had any other players, any other champions who were a little bit ahead, but look at all of them, they're not in a good position to, you know, be facing the team fights just straight away with 4 players. So the fact that you're missing one of them is going to be crucial for this game. And honestly, I still think Derby's got all the odds in their favor. Honestly, I think we will also see lots of play come from the towers. Let's see how they try to split push, because that could be the key to win the game for Team Solo's Wards. Look at that mid lane tower that is gonna fall or not. Yeah?
They're still trying to get this tower down at the 29-minute mark, still unable to take it down. Does fall as I say that, but for Team Solo, this is a crucial Baron, because not only do they get it for themselves, which is good for stabilizing, good for getting a little bit push on and getting that damage that they needed to take down that mid tower, it denies it from Derby. And if Derby had the Baron buff right now, this would be a very, very scary position. Dragon would be almost uncontestable if they had a decent split push macro in place. But right now, this allows for that advantage to be given over to Team Solo, who can now feel confident about looking to contest this Dragon, which is spawning up in 25 seconds. They're feeling more confident to push up and allow for objectives to be secured. So, excellent play from them. And as you say, Derby's still in a very nice position. They're going to be a little annoyed not to have got the objective, not to be able to use it to their own advantage. But losing out will be a case of, right, let's regroup, get the next objective, get the Dragon Soul, the Ocean Soul as well. And when you look at the champions they've got, it's going to be so hard to take down their team if they're regenning.
Yeah, and also let's see how they try to make this team fight work for them, because Davi, again, they are, in terms of the Baron buff, a little disadvantage here. Let's try if they try to pull the steal that Team Solo's Wards did with the Baron before. I'm not so sure if they're gonna, I don't think they're gonna give it up.
No,
I think they're ready to fight it.
Both teams are looking like they want to fight. Linus calling the Horn will get the fight started, but only manages to land knock up onto one. Murelion gets stunned up. The Dragon will be stolen away from CatGirl Trez, so the Soul is available for this fight. Elizabeth is chasing forward, gets the kill onto Oriana. Charlotte is tanky, but will not be able to stand up too much longer to all this damage. Double kill going over there. Murelion calls the Lamb's Dress fight, which will keep everyone involved, but it does mean that she'll fall down immediately afterwards. CatGirl Trez cleaning up the fight 3-0 for Derby. And yes, they lost the Baron buff, but they don't care. They grabbed themselves the soul.
Yeah, and also look at Kaiser. Elizabeth has scored 905 already in her scoreboard. How OP is that? I know, but the tower is going to go for them. And let's say if they don't try to pick up another tower on the way now that they are at it, you know, like, they can do it. And I think they probably didn't have enough minions, but who cares about it when you've got these champions on your team? Oh,
jumping in onto the pony. The tower's still standing, going to be cleaned up by Elizabeth before she joins the fight. Enough damage coming through to pick up the kill for Syndra, though. As Cat Trez on the wrong side of the wall isn't too bothered, still looking for what could be a flank in the enemy base. Gets a nice knock up onto Charlotte, but not going to be able to pull up too much. But Charlotte is going to go low, has to ult to get that tenacity and that tankiness. Members falling low across the board. But it's going to be Alistair who's the only one to go down. Xenoblade from Leona will catch up Hell, who's going to be able to dance away. Flash from Leona will keep her alive as Elizabeth now needs to be careful of the Curtain. Cool, Linus looking to tank up the 4th shot as well. Means that the whole team is going to be able to get away. They stay maybe a little bit too long, but they're not truly punished as all 5 get out alive.
So 24 kills versus 7 kills by Team Soloist Wards. I mean, this looked very promising in the beginning of the game. Now I think perhaps there have been some miscommunication when it comes to team fights. We saw how they gave up some of them. They were a little incorrect when it comes to positioning, and that has paid off for Davi and gone in the wrong direction for Team Soloist Wards. I'm actually think they should start thinking about the next game, what they should ban and what they don't want to see in the Rift. For example, On doesn't seem like that much of like, she doesn't seem to be on the spotlight so much because, again, you've got another 3 very strong players in the Rift in this game. But the ultis that she's been throwing around have been really powerful. We saw it on some of the other matches. Her ultis with On are beautiful. Alliance is pulling this champion to its limits. So I think they shouldn't want to see her on the Rift again. She's not the carry, but she's doing loads of things for her team.
Well, that does tend to be the case when you're playing these tankier top laners, tankier supports as well. Charlotte needs to be a little careful. Don't want to check that bush too thoroughly because there's an entire enemy team in it. But when you're playing these tanks, it can be easy to look at the champions like Elizabeth on this Kaiser, who's doing so much damage, like Catgirl Trez, who's pulling off these massive plays and getting kills and being like, wow, we clearly know how this team is winning the game. But with the engagements coming through from Linus and Eliodora as well on the Leona, it's making the jobs of the carries so much easier to get on the targets they want to get on, or to reposition and survive some of the bursts coming through from people like Helen Murelion as well. So have to be giving credit for the entire Derby roster. Team Solo are not out of this one yet. They've still got a couple of tools that they could use, but taking the Baron, since they stole the Baron away, things have got significantly worse for them. They're now fighting against a team with Soul. They're fighting against a team with far more members on this objective, and they started up once again. This time around, the steal's going to have to be even more important, but I don't think they're even going to get there in time.
You see, there is a Spanish caster who says the Baron loses more games than it wins, and in this case, it could be proven true. By Davi, like, after they lost the Baron, as you said, things have gone uphill for them. So, I mean, maybe it was a good idea to actually let Murelion steal it. I know. I do know. So far, we've seen that the answer is yeah. So let's see how they try to close the game, because that's gonna be another very important point. You're at 34 minutes in. You want to start, just sieging the base for the enemy team. You want to start getting some kills here and there, but mostly you want to get the inhibitors already. And let's see if those wards allows them to do it, or if they are gonna fight it even more.
You are building the Rift to see if that is going to be taken up or not, because we are getting into late stage of this map. 35 minutes in. Derby currently have Soul. They currently have Baron buff. There's the opportunity for an Elder in 1 minute 20, and you got to imagine they'd be favoured in that fight as well. So could be challenging at this stage for Team Solo Lose Worlds to try and battle their way back into the game, but not impossible. Has to be said, and I'm excited to see if they can do it.
I think, as I said, that got to start focusing next game. They've lost no tower, 5 versus 2 towers here so far. And honestly, I think what they have to do is what they've been doing during the entire tournament. which is learn from your mistakes, just take it to next game and forget about this one because it's clearly not been so good for them. At least 36 minutes in, and oof, look at Catgirl Tress. Look
Looking for the
at that.
flank. Is on the back line. Is going to be able to jump onto Morellion, who has to use the round just right very early. Tower still fighting in this one. As nice on it will catch out Iliadora. She's going to go low, but jumps into the back line to try and get more. Catgirl Trez will get the first kill of the fight and pick up the second as well. Iliadora gets the center back through the fight and helps take down Charlotte. Now Catgirl Trez still alive, still full health. He's going to move on to Gertrude. The pony will pick up the kill of the fourth member of this team. Iliadora going to get the stun and going to survive somehow in that fight. But with Baron Buff, you've got to imagine that does enough. There's nothing that Team Solo Lose Worlds can do right now as they watch their Nectars get battered down and Derby take the first win in this best of 3 fight.
Yeah, I really like how they settled the game. Here they didn't have any doubts. They just went straight away for the kill and they did it. So congratulations for David for getting that first game.
Yeah, excellent to see them as well. That would have been very easy for the team to peel off, go to Elder Dragon, either force a fight there or grab the objective and then look to push. But Catgirl Trez knew exactly how strong she was. She said, I can go through the base, I can get behind them, and I can cut off any chance for an escape. And Murelion, we talked about how the fact that she was the strongest member on this Team Solo team for such a long time, but the rest of the team really couldn't keep up and weren't able to fight player to player, which meant that Kindred in the early game had to be there for Team Solo to do anything. And it was really epitomized in that top lane fight under that outer tower, where all 4 members were there from Team Solo, except for Murelion, and all 4 of them went down in a dive. And from then on in, yes, there was an amazing Baron steal. Yes, there was like a glimmer of hope for Team Solo, but Derby looked very confident and very strong throughout pretty much the entirety of that game.
Yeah, I completely agree. And let's say if next game try to step up the game. I think they've got lots of potential, but they still have to show it. Just show what you did last week. And week 3. They were so even. And I don't know if it's a matter of Derby getting better and better throughout weeks, or just Team Toulouse Wolves being more pressured by being on the finals. Perhaps it's a matter of that, and I think they can recover. It's not impossible for that at all.
Yeah, I'm always biased for the team to win that just lost, because then we get the most number of games as possible. But for Derby fans, they're just going to want to see a nice win from their team, because Derby's Pyjama Guardians only 1 win away from securing their championship victory in the first ever New Women's League of Legends Championships. And we're going to have to wait and see if they can do it until after the break. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute.
Baby, can you see the snow? Wherever you are, boy, I need to know if I'm on your mind, like you stay in mine. Cause Christmas ain't the same here without you. Just another mistletoe that I can't stand, cause I'm on my own by the fireside. I'm so cold inside, cause Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. Turning on the radio, putting up my Christmas lights, and I was looking out the window and I saw that winter wonderland so bright. And something got me out of my mood, and I was wondering if you and I would ever just together. Cause when you're with me, love is all for you. Only do you want me? Baby, do you need me? I'm thinking I know. Baby, can you see the snow? Wherever you are, boy, I need to know if I'm on your mind, like you stay in mine. Cause Christmas ain't the same here without you. Just another mistletoe that I can't stand, cause I'm on my own by the fireside. I'm so cold inside, cause Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. So what's the night before I knew I wouldn't spend all day with you? Cause I didn't have you here in my arms. Santa, can you make my wish come true? Cause I don't wanna be alone in the season made for two. So come and keep me warm tonight, cause it's gonna be a cold one without you. Tell me if you want me, I wanna be your baby. I gotta know. Baby, can you see the snow? Wherever you are, boy, I need to know if I'm on your mind, like you stay in mine. Cause Christmas ain't the same here without you. Just another mistletoe that I can't stand, cause I'm on my own by the fireside. I'm so cold inside, cause Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. Oh, yeah. Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. I've been good this year, but I won't need no Christmas cheer. Always everything that I wanted more. So tell me why he ain't right here, just waiting for me at my door. Oh, yeah. Baby, can you see the snow? Wherever you are, boy, you need to know if I'm on your mind, like you stay in mine. Cause Christmas ain't the same here without you. Just another mistletoe that I can't stand, cause I'm on my own by the fireside. I'm so cold inside, cause Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby. Christmas ain't the same here without you, without my baby, hey. Without my baby, no. Yeah. Christmas ain't the same here without you, baby.
Jingle bells. I'm the Jingle Bells.